Hi everyone, Karen here from Quantum Healing, Tina and Karen. And so we're going to have story time today. Go ahead, Tina.
Take it away.
Take it away. Yeah.
All right, I have my notes here, so I'll be looking down at my notes because it's a lot of information. But I thought this was an important topic to talk about this war on chronic disease.
Mm.
And it starts for me back last winter. I woke up from a dream hearing the name Mona, and I don't know anybody by that name. I don't know anybody in my past by that name. So I just wrote it down and kind of put it on the back burner because, with our dreams, things can mean a lot later that might not necessarily mean anything to us right now. But if we just take note of those things and save it for later, it might mean something. So that's what happened. I heard her name and I just had this feeling like something really terrible happened to her. And I didn't know what it was exactly, but it was just, I heard her name and I had that feeling and I wrote it down. And then within a month, a person by that name moved in next door to me. And she was a beautiful woman, an older Black woman in her maybe 70s. She was really sweet. She loved cats. She asked me about my cat because he sits out on the porch in his little house. And, so we just kind of made small talk as we passed. I helped her carry some things into the house. She was really strong, really healthy, really vibrant. And that was that. She lived there for a couple months. I would see her sometimes like come and go. And she decorated her porch. She put flowers out. She put new patio furniture. It looked like she was planning on spending time out there. But I never saw her out there because something was happening in the background. So by mid summer, um, I noticed she wasn't around. And nobody kind of knew what was happening. I noticed that there were some family members that were staying at her place. Um, so yeah, there was like this kind of mystery surrounding what happened to Mona. Nobody really knew. And then around, she reappeared in the fall, just not that long ago, actually. And when I saw her again, she looked really weathered. Her forehead was like scrunched with this like permanent look of grief. The light was like drained from her eyes. It looked like she had been through something really serious that like left this marked impression on her.
And she aged probably, I would assume, a lot.
Yeah, she was kind of in her walking, she was kind of like shuffling along, holding her belly
Mm.
and just kind of walking really slow, embracing herself. It was just a completely different energy and vibe from the person that had moved in just a few months prior. So finally, I ran into her and I asked her what happened, like where she was. And she told me this story that had me on a roller coaster of emotions. Um, It started when she was prescribed the drug Ozempic for diabetes 2 years ago. She was prescribed. So she had been getting the injections every month for 2 years. She said that she got constipated. She went to her doctor, I guess her family doctor, and then the doctor was worried and immediately referred her to a GI specialist. And this specialist scanned her and she had a serious bowel obstruction. Her bowels were paralyzed because that's what this drug does. It's actually venom. So her bowels are paralyzed. She needs emergency surgery. She goes in for surgery and she ends up with a colostomy bag
God.
because now her bowels are completely paralyzed, so it's not moving at all. And
Like
so,
they're dead.
yeah. And so, what a colostomy bag is, it's like they put a hole in your belly so that your stool can come out into a bag and be collected there, and then you can discard it. It's not fun. It's not
Uh-huh.
fun. And she also had a G tube, a gastric feeding tube, on the other side going into her stomach because she said she just couldn't take the nasal tube anymore. So she had the surgery to get a gastric tube placed right into her belly so she could be fed that way.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And if
So
that,
she like deteriorated in such a short span.
yeah, like overnight.
Oh my God.
But it seemed like it was overnight, but obviously it had been building up to that over 2 years.
Hmm.
Um, and if that was the end of the story, that would be more than enough, but it's not. She had previously had breast cancer that was in remission. That was now re-triggered and metastasis spread throughout her entire body and all of her major organs.
I don't think I know this part of the story.
Yeah.
Really? Oh my God.
Mhm.
Oh God. Okay.
She looked, as she was like telling me this, she just looked and sounded so devastated and so bewildered at like, how could this happen?
Right.
And I was right there with her. I was just like, so in a way shocked, but in a way not, because I know the ramifications of this drug. So there is a black box warning on Ozempic that I don't think people are aware of. And that is that it will cause thyroid tumors. But doctors that are prescribing it aren't noticing the thyroid tumors as much as they're noticing an explosion in breast cancer.
Okay.
So
I found this drug came out of nowhere, didn't it? Like it
it
just,
seemed like it just exploded onto the scene. Yeah.
yeah.
So Mona's moving out now. Like her family is coming and going. She's coming and going, like loading up what she can into her car.
Was that, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but was this like when you saw her to have that update, that was after she was MIA for a long time? Like we could not, I'm like, where the hell is your neighbor?
Yeah. We didn't know where she was. She was in the hospital and then she was in rehab for a long time.
Oh, because of the
Most of the summer.
surgeries.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Okay.
So she told me that she's moving back with her son. Her son lives in her house. She had given her house over to her son so that she could move out and have a little place and have her independence and, take care of it herself and not have to worry about anything. So now she was so
Mm.
distraught to have to move back in with him, in case something happens, in case of an emergency, in case she needs help, she needs somebody close by. So now she loses her independence. He loses his independence because now he has to take care of her. And she's just so devastated. Like I could sense her like resignation, like, oh, I guess this is it. And she even said like she looked at her porch furniture and she was like, I never even got to sit out here. And she was like so disappointed.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
Yeah, it was really sad. Like I could just hear like her thoughts were just like, how could this happen? Like I'm at the end of my life. I just wanted to relax, enjoy the sun, like not have to worry about any of this. And it was just, yeah, just devastated, confused, bewildered, like this melancholy that kind of came over her that was like consuming her. And it was just so sad. And so then she says, like, my eyes and ears like kind of perked up because then she says, I called about the Ozempic lawsuit because there's a big lawsuit right now, a class action lawsuit for people that are having these kinds of symptoms, blindness, bowel paralysis, like all kinds of weird um, symptoms and disabilities. So she said that, and I was like, oh, great. Like maybe you can get in on this, and maybe there'll be like a small hint of justice in all of this. So I'm just going to read this. The Ozempic lawsuit is a multi-district litigation against Novo Nordisk, alleging the company failed to adequately warn about serious side effects. Side effects are intended effects, like gastroparesis, which is stomach paralysis, intestinal blockages, and gallbladder problems. Lawsuits claim these severe GI issues and other conditions such as kidney injury and vision loss are linked to the drug, and that the manufacturer's aggressive marketing contributed to the harm. A federal MDL has been established in Philadelphia to handle federal lawsuits regarding gastroparesis, which is what she had. So then she says, they can't help me. They say they can't help me because I'm not taking Ozempic anymore. I'm not actively on the drug, so they can't help me.
That's bullshit.
I'm like,
That's fucking
what?
bullshit. This is you. I would like to think that she would stop it because of what it did. So why continue to take it? That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And really, there's nothing they could do?
Yeah. And she was just like, I don't know. Like
Come
I was
on.
flabbergasted. Like
Where
I
the
was,
hell's Aaron Brockovich?
I know.
The
I was
fuck?
like shocked, as I'm sure she was. And, but also there was, I was like, well, of course, of course. Why would there be any justice in this? Like, it makes sense. They don't, why would it be any other way? Like, this place isn't fair. It's never
Mm-hmm.
been fair. It's not
Mm-hmm.
made to be fair. So, and that's why you hear like the good die young, because this realm does not support good people. It doesn't support true source players. It just doesn't. So it makes sense when you when you think of it from that point of view, like evil rules in this realm, and these drug companies are evil, 1000%.
Mm-hmm.
And the agendas are getting worse over time. Like as they're being like fully implemented, it's getting worse. Like, and I'm thinking like, I know how to protect myself. Like I know the rules of this game. Like I know now like what not to get myself entangled with. But people like Mona don't. They trust their good doctors. They
That's the
listen.
system.
Yeah, they listen, they trust, they take the drugs that they're told to take, and then something like this happens, something devastating like this happens. And only then will they begin to really question what's really going on, if they do at all. So when you research Ozempic and all of the drugs like it, they're all in this category called GLP-1s. They were initially started as um, they were prescribed for diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're being prescribed like worldwide for weight loss. Everybody's taking it for weight loss. And there are apps you can download where you don't even, you need to put in like just basic information and they will prescribe you and send you these drugs in the mail. Like that's how easy it is to get.
I can't get any other like real good ones, like antibiotics. Like you have to, they could just give you, well, snake venom for free.
Yeah. So So the components in Ozempic, it's made with venom from the Gila monster, which is a reptile. And these people, they don't know that this is an agenda, and that's why they're pushing this so hard. But that's what it is. They're trying to get this DNA and
Is that
whatever
for
else.
real? Like that's what it says?
Yeah, it's made
No.
from venom from the Gila monster.
It says that on the pamphlet?
No,
Oh,
no, but yes, no, but yes.
what do
Like
they call it though? What do
in
they
the
call it though?
research, that's what they say that it's synthetically, like they copied it and made a synthetic form of it.
What the heck?
Yeah,
Wow, that's fucked.
there's so much research that is going into venom right now, and that they have been.
Well, we've been seeing Venom for a long time and like a long time.
Yeah, and look at the last video we did about Venom, like the movie Venom. Like they're showing you how
Yeah,
this
predictive
Venom,
programming.
it's predictive programming, how it's like piggybacking on you. Like it's almost like it locks in, like it jumps on your back and locks in, and it changes your whole body chemistry. This is how they're getting this into people
Hmm.
through this like weight loss. I mean, who doesn't want to lose weight? Everybody wants to lose weight because we're so focused on the material world. Like that's all that matters to us is the material world. And so now, so in my mind, I'm thinking this is an agenda to inject the human race with reptilian DNA to terraform the body, right? So like in Venom, the body is being terraformed so that it can accept these entities because the human body in its godly form
Hmm.
is not a match to these entities. They have
Right.
to lower the energy. They have to make it a match to these entities so that they can walk in
Hmm.
and take over.
Yeah.
And so injecting the worldwide population with reptilian DNA or proteins or whatever you want to call it is making people a match. It's lowering their
Biofield.
biology, their biofield, their energy system. It's lowering everything. It's like a, okay, if you think of Venom like a paralytic, which is exactly what it is. It paralyzes. So it puts everything to a stop. Everything comes to a stop. So not
Hmm.
only the physical body, but when the physical body's not moving, the energy body's not moving. There's no flow.
Hmm.
So everything is stuck and stagnant.
Hmm.
And so that makes it easier for people to get attachments.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And those attachments, those entities, those entities can cause physical symptoms and issues themselves, let alone the venom that's being injected into people.
Hmm.
So I feel like they're terraforming the body just like they're terraforming the environment. It's not for us, it's not for humans to live in this toxic soup of trash. Like it's not for humans, it's for something else.
Hmm. Yeah.
So they're terraforming the environment, they're terraforming the body for something else. Something else is taking over.
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and so there was just this big conference with Trump and RFK Jr. and he made an announcement that okay, so now there's this war on chronic disease. I mean, just think about the word and the energy of that word war
Mm-hmm.
on chronic disease. So what they're saying is there's a war on humanity. There's a war on sick people. They're telling you there's a war on sick people. They wanted to
Hmm.
either this is part of the whole agenda to cull the herd, and those who aren't culled will be vessels for them. So the
Hmm.
announcement was they're going to significantly lower the cost of these drugs.
Right.
Significantly lower in order to fight chronic disease. You're going to fight chronic disease with venom peptides.
How the fuck does that make any sense?
So you have to ask yourself, why would they do that? Why would big pharma, who are all about making money, lower the cost so that more people can take it?
That can take over the population.
Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty obvious. It's not because they're like super philanthropic. Like, it's not,
Right.
they don't care about people so much. And so they're pushing it on the poor and sick communities.
Right. I think as long as they're able to, let's say, lower costs, but then give it to everybody, then everybody else gets even sicker. So then they need more drugs. So it's just like another pool of like that kind of pharmaceutical inception
Yeah, it's a multi-level agenda, right? On that level, it's like make these people sicker, they need more drugs.
and more
And
programmed and out, out, gone.
right. And on another level, you're affecting their biology, you're affecting their energy system, and that's allowing for an energetic match to entities,
Yeah.
specifically to reptilian entities, because that's the energy they're using. They're injecting into the body
Hmm.
to become then a match for these reptilian entities.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like if you think of like a sovereign being that is then being injected, you see them, they kind of like degrade and then degraded and fully degraded till, yes, they become a match because what has to come in is a degraded energy.
Yes. I'm just making a note to come back to that. So, yeah. So, lowering the cost so that more people, especially poverty-stricken communities, can take it.
Hmm.
So they're targeting. There's a war now on, well, not that there hasn't been, but they're upping the war on poor and sick communities and
Well,
poor
that
people.
well that makes sense too. I mean, like in the quantum healing, like the work that we're doing, like we've always seen like they, you know what better way to target than the poor because it's like they want to just, get on to, to be served like everybody else, right? And now they're getting it. And because of the class system, they're just going to be taken over and then recycled back into that class system. It's like there's no room for upping their levels. Like it's just like, great, let's take them. I mean, it's all that's not new, but this is just another layer of how they do it to keep people in their system, like their caste system.
They stay enslaved. They
Word.
never get out,
Yeah.
and they're recycled back in again.
Hmm.
And what's crazy, right, is like RFK Jr. was supposed to be like this big savior for the healthcare industry. And he was there. He was at that conference and he was in full support of this.
Yeah, I bet.
Full
I
support.
bet. I bet. I mean, like, it just makes sense, that that's how they groom them. They make it sound like they're on for whatever agenda, get everybody's full on support, like, die, like, till death do us part support until they do something like that. And they're so programmed into that unconditional support and then all gone. That's why it was like really confusing for some, like some of those people, like in the spiritual community, like where they were on this path. And then after that, they do like questionable things. And you're like, wow, how did you get that? Like, how did you go in that trajectory? Like, it was not
Like
how,
backwards.
yeah, it's not even in alignment, like with the AI trajectory or now this pharma trajectory, like whatever it is.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure because the nanotech is in every shot. So why wouldn't it be in those shots? So the
Correcto.
other level to that agenda is the World Wide Web of humans.
Mhm.
It's like upping the tech in the body.
Yep. Yeah, there's so many people in the community that are just they're gone.
All right. So that brings in AI too. There's an AI connection there. So this one thing has many levels of agenda to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about injections too, because we'll come back to that in a minute. So yeah,
Okay.
Trump made that announcement. RFK was in full support of this. Yeah, we got to get this out to all these people to help with chronic disease. Like there's a war now on chronic disease.
Mhm.
Um, so research on the Gila monster is the foundation for Ozempic and all the drugs like it. There are many, like Wegovy and Trulista, I think is one, and a bunch of other ones. They're all the same.
Mhm.
Research on the Gila monster is the foundation for Ozempic, as its venom contains a peptide called exendin 4, which is structurally similar to human hormone GLP-1. Scientists discovered exendin 4 could help stimulate insulin production and slow digestion, and a synthetic version, semaglutide, was developed from this research to create drugs like Ozempic. So, yes, in their own research, they admit to researching the Gila monster and its venom.
What the hell, man? That's crazy.
So basically, when you take one of these drugs, you're injecting like synthetic reptilian monster
Yeah.
venom into your body.
Right. It's like everybody's like getting a piece of the Demogorgon.
Yeah, it's a paralytic. Venom's a paralytic. Like when you get bitten by a snake or um, anything like that, the reason why it's deadly is because it's a paralytic and it dissolves the tissues and it paralyzes the body. That's why it's
Mhm.
so deadly.
Mhm.
Yeah. It slows down the energy until full paralysis occurs. Like, and so they're really marketing this to people who are overweight or obese, right? And so, like, this sense of like, we're never good enough, we never look good enough. And we're also obese now because of all the toxins and processed food and crap that they have fed to us over the previous decades. So
Mhm.
now there's a lot of obese people. Like if you look at pictures from the 70s of people on the beach, there's not one person who's overweight. They're all thin. But if you look now, more than not, there's people that are overweight.
Mhm.
And it's not just one thing, but it's many things like, all the chemicals and pesticides they spray on our food, plus the processing and the chemicals and the everything, the technology. So they've created, right? So this is what they do, like problem reaction solution. They've created this obesity problem, and
Mhm.
now they come in with the miracle cure.
Right. They always do that.
Yeah. My aunt took this for a couple weeks and she said she just never felt good. Like she always felt nauseous. Like it worked. She didn't want to eat because she just always felt sick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because you make sense because you're injecting poison into your body. Why would you feel good? Why would anybody want to eat when they feel like that? So she finally stopped taking it, thank God, after I showed her some of like the information about where it comes from.
But
But
your other cousin is taking it.
yeah, but it's also very convenient, right? Because what do
Hmm.
humans want? They want quick fixes. Nobody wants to put in the time and effort that it takes to really lose weight or really heal the body the natural and healthy way. And most people don't even know that it's possible. Or they do and they don't even have the energy to do it. Like it takes a lot of willpower to get yourself there when you're so beaten down.
Yeah. The convenience of today is just so out of this world. So there's no such thing as like, really true patience anymore. It's
Right. And so that's the same thing with like AI and why everybody's using AI now because of its convenience. It does everything for you. And that's also part of like the merging, just allowing AI to merge with your consciousness. I mean, we had a client who, I mean, she's just a mom. She uses it for recipes and she started using it for everything.
Hmm.
And the AI was merging with her consciousness and starting to take over. And listen, this is the same thing with AI videos that are taking over YouTube and everywhere now. The AI generated videos that there might be truth in them, yes. But when you watch these videos, they are attempting to merge with your consciousness. And it happens so
Subtly.
subtly that you don't even notice until it's too late. So we have to be more aware of what we're consuming, what we're watching, because there are tricks all around us trying to pull us in,
Hmm.
trying to, they get us with the convenience. Look at how convenient this is. Like you just have to inject yourself once a week or month, whatever. I think it's once a week. And
That's
that's
a
it.
lot.
Yeah.
And she did that for 2 years,
two
once a week for
years,
2 years.
2 years.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. And then look, explosion of cancer, paralysis of the bowel, because the body is just like, it's almost like it has the energy of death, even though you're still alive. It's still moving, but it's dying.
Yeah, I remember because even before that, I remember we kept asking, like, where is she? Where is she? And that, remember
Mm.
what were the birds that were flying overhead?
The turkey hawks.
Yeah.
And I
So
said,
it's,
like, they only
yeah,
fly over when they only eat dead things. So it was
yeah,
almost, yeah,
it was sad.
yeah. Yeah, so the energetic ramifications of injecting reptilian venom is that you become an energetic match for these lower vibrational entities like reptilians and others too, other entities too. There are many. Um, it lowers the vibration of the human body to allow for possession. Possession then leads to decay of the body, mind, soul, and spirit, and then eventually death.
Hmm.
But while they are possessed, they are easy to manipulate, easy to create mayhem or disorder or discordance in the collective. I mean, how many of these like shooters have or they have they talk about the voices in their heads. The guy that stabbed the Ukrainian girl on the train talked about it was something in his body that did it. It
God.
was his body that did it. Bodies are beginning to become controlled now by something else, not the human soul. That's being pushed to the back or outside altogether. Because what do we see with the shots, the initial ones from 2021? They were pushing the souls outside of the body, the
Hmm.
initial ones. So now they're all the way out. These bodies are walking around uninhabited, and anything can just jump in there.
Hmm.
Adding that with the neural networks that are growing inside the body, and then the neural networks grow their own AI inside the body,
Hmm.
and that AI takes over the body. Yeah. So if you just look at Mona's case alone and the far-reaching effects it has on her, one person, and then her whole entire family, Like, imagine that happening to millions, billions of people and how disabled they would be. Like,
Gosh.
yeah. So as we were saying goodbye, I helped her carry like the last piece of furniture out. She was such an independent woman. Like, she barely wanted me to help her, but like I forced myself in anyway. I'm like, let me just help you. Um, she said, I don't know what's going to happen to me. She said, my brother said, like, everyone always wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. I was like, yeah, you're right. So I think she was obviously thinking a lot about that. It was just really sad to see the complete degeneration like that happened so quickly, and like how the light drained from her eyes, and she was just kind of resigned to death.
Ugh, that's such an isolating feeling.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I thought to myself, yeah, like you're better off leaving the body, but then are you in that state? Are you better off
Right?
when you are that degraded? I don't know.
Ugh.
So something terrible did happen to Mona, and somehow I tapped into that in my dream. Like, the feeling I had hearing that was like, took me right back to that dream. And I was like, that must have been it. It was a premonition.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it really is a true crime against humanity, and everyone needs to guard themselves. Like, don't make any rash decisions. Don't blindly trust doctors. Do your own research. Find out about what you're putting in your body. You
Mm.
have to find out what you're putting in your body, because you cannot trust big pharma companies. You cannot trust doctors because they don't know either. Like, and if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. There's usually some kind of like ulterior motive for why they are bringing this into the collective. Always have to ask yourself why. And that brings me to like like um just some of the videos and stuff I was watching about this. One of the main side effects is nightmares. People have nightmares while on this drug.
Oh,
And
really?
yes, one of
Wow.
them said there was a T-Rex reptilian in her house that was drowning people and killing her cats.
Oh my gosh.
There were like animals coming back from the dead. It was killing people in the mall. And a lot of these dreams are full of celebrities.
How come I'm dreaming of celebrities?
I don't know. What is that? It's very weird.
That's weird.
It's weird. And there's something actually called like Ozempic psychosis, which is hallucinations, delusions, disordered thinking, abnormal behavior. So, what is it that's taking them over? What are they hallucinating about? What are they deluded about? Why are they thinking abnormally?
Hmm.
Why is their behavior weird?
Well, they're probably thinking like a reptile.
Yeah, because that reptile is probably taking them over.
Well,
This is a wild statistic. 48% of people in the clinical trials for Ozempic had adverse reactions. 48%. And they put it on the
whoa.
market anyway.
Approved by the FDA. Come on.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. If that doesn't seem like like blatant abuse. What is like,
Hmm. Yeah. And if you look at like the Ozempic website itself, it has a list of all the side effects. And this is the thing, they can put it right in front of your face and people are going to take it anyway. They don't care.
yeah, they don't give a shit. They're just like, oh. But I think that's also part of the whole, excuse me, the whole putting it in your face type of stuff. Like the when I was there in the US with you, I was kind of taken aback by how many commercials of medicines that they put on in a lot. And then, you're watching this is the whole part of like the programming. You're seeing a beautiful image. Meanwhile, they're saying can cause blah 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 and death while the family's like holding hands and swinging.
On the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it creates that cognitive dissonance in the mind because you see the picture of how this drug, makes you so happy and carefree.
Yeah. But the amount of how much of that advertising, you're just not listening anymore. You're just like, oh, whatever. There's so many drugs out there that,
Mhm.
like this just not even, I don't know.
So I want to talk about shots really briefly because I came across this interesting story of this woman who has been lucid dreaming since she was a child. She's probably now in her 20s or 30s. I'm not exactly sure, but she had a lucid dream where she wakes up in the dream and all of a sudden the reality starts to shift. The walls are shifting and this woman,
Scenes changing.
the scene's changing. She's starting to like, it's starting to like dissolve almost. And she's seeing behind it. And this woman appears. And the woman tells her, "You're not supposed to be awake." Like, and she tells her, like, "I've been watching you since you're a child and you're not supposed to be waking up in your dreams. So we've been tracking you and documenting." And so she gets into so that dissolves. She's in this other reality, this back room where they show her, like, they have it all documented. All of her lucid dreams are all documented there. And she's seeing them and she's remembering them. And they're like, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be back here." And these military men appear and they asked her, like, do you have all your shots?
Hmm.
And she's like, "Yeah, I have all my shots." And they were like, "Well, you're not supposed to be waking up."
Oh,
And
wow.
so what does that tell you? Like, that tells you that these shots are made to suppress consciousness
Mm. Hmm.
and that by the people behind the veil. Like, that's their intention for no other reason but that, to suppress consciousness so that you don't wake up. You stay asleep, whether in this reality or your dreaming reality. They want you asleep. They do not want you to be able to wake up and see what's really going on there.
Gosh, it just makes me wonder, like that world that she wakes up in, like, is that the real world or is that just another dimensional aspect, that we experience, but also has authority there? Like it's crazy. Like you're not supposed to be awake.
Right. Like, and I was thinking about that. Like, are these like astral authorities, that monitor the astral? They're like dream police that monitor us when we're out of our bodies
Hmm.
and making sure that we don't wake up. Or are they like some physical representation? But everything in the physical has a representation in the astral. So
Hmm.
it's both, I guess.
It's crazy though. Okay, so and then,
And then they tell the nurse who's been watching her since she was a child, that she needs an injection.
hmm
So they give the nurse the injection. They send her back to the other room. She's like, "I have to give you this injection." She's crying, like, please don't, because she knows if she gives her that, she's not going to be able to lucid dream anymore. So the nurse leans behind her and squirts it out, doesn't give it to her. She wakes up in her reality and she has 104.5-degree fever. And she's really, really sick for 4 days straight. And finally, she bargains with them. She says, "Fine, I will stop lucid dreaming if you take this away." And it stopped.
And she hasn't
And she
lucid dream.
hasn't lucid dreamed ever since.
Bruh. So what do you think happened there? Like they knew that they were gonna give her a fever, like they knew the nurse wasn't gonna give her the shot, or
No, but did she have the fever because she visited that reality that she wasn't supposed to? Like, is there some kind of effect? Because it reminded me of that experience that we had after the Pearl Jam concert when we got really sick, when we were both seeing into some other reality or whatever was happening there. It reminded me of that.
I didn't even think of that. And every other time that I've had like high ass fever in my childhood.
Yeah.
Huh.
I can't remember now if she said that she felt like she was on a ship,
I don't
but
recall her saying
I
that.
think I don't recall, I'm not sure, but there can be ramifications of being in a ship environment or an environment with, I'm getting hit now, an environment with these beings where there's high levels of radiation.
Hmm.
And that radiation makes you really sick. It's radiation poisoning. So it would give you a high fever, sweats, maybe vomiting, nausea, then eventually like chest, lung issues from the high
Hmm.
levels of radiation. Um,
Hmm.
I came across an interesting documentary it's called the Jackrabbit Experience. This woman and her friend were on a cross country trip in America. And the woman was saying, like, I really want to see the jackrabbits. Um, whew, they've been targeting me this whole time. I think I have this really bad pain in my back. Uh, anyway, she says she wants to see the jackrabbit. So they're driving, and then all of a sudden, the street is flooded with jackrabbits.
Whoa.
And then the next thing you know, they wake up in a diner like hundreds of miles away, passed out on the table. And
Huh?
the waitress wakes them up. The
What?
jackrabbits were grays.
Holy shit.
They were taken up in a beam of light onto the ship.
Oh my God, that's like us waking. We didn't wake up in the diner, but it's
um, yeah. So she retrieved her memories later in a regression. They were taken on the ship. I'm not sure exactly what was done to them, but she did touch one of them. She touched a gray, and she said her hand smelled so foul because they smell like ammonia, like their skin excretes ammonia. But she said that she had her and her friend were both really, really sick when they woke up in the diner, hundreds of miles away. Their car was there too. Like, no idea how they had gone there. And they were both so like confused and bewildered and sick from the radiation poisoning that
oh my God.
they didn't really talk about it. They just knew that something weird had happened. This was in the 70s. So there wasn't,
Okay.
anybody talking about this
Gotcha.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, they lived kind of with that secret all these years until like just a few years ago. I think she had the regression and retrieved her memories and saw what happened, that the jackrabbits were grays and that,
Whoa.
yeah,
That's crazy. Wow.
But they were sick for a long time, like from the radiation poisoning. So
That's like us. We had a
yeah,
really rough recovery after that whole thing.
yeah,
Rough. I don't
really
even
rough.
think we really got better. Like it just, if anything, we recovered and we were, our 100% was then at like a 70 or 80, and it just keeps getting capped. The layers are getting capped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
Hmm.
Well, that was a really big hit, but I think when we both got sick after the, or take, well, you were really taken out of commission, but I got sick too after the 90th birthday. The first time when everyone started to come out after the first round of stuff after the
Shot.
pandemic.
The first round of shots. Yeah, that was the first time we were in a crowd. Yeah. And that was intense. That was really intense.
Yeah, because now I feel like, remember I keep saying, I'm like I really feel that it's getting quote unquote better, like tolerating more better, or tolerating better. But I just think it's like kind of like that book that you talked about, the one where they would introduce like a new electricity thing and everyone gets sick because it's a new frequency, or that their body has to acclimate to. And of course, there's going to be, people who aren't as healthy that, really take a huge hit, but eventually it gets better. You get more tolerant, or your body gets stronger or is able to tolerate that. You keep going, what? Tell me.
No, you're right. And I think that they target some of us more than others because of our resilience to the radiation. I think that's part of it. There's something about that.
Yeah. I still don't know what happened. Like, remember I said after that session, I had like a shot type energy feel. It doesn't hurt anymore. But
That's
then it begs me to wonder, because we are talking about shots. What was I given now? I hope they gave me like a shot of like Rogaine so I take care of my balding. Just kidding. I don't mean that. Just kidding.
No, no shots.
That's a, yeah, that's not a real statement. But
Just lost your audio. This day's going by really slow.
yeah. Is it better?
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry. That happens. Yeah, it is going by slow. But I'm excited to did we finish the story?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. That's see, my part of myself is like changing the subject. Let's talk about food.
I thought you did pretty good for this story. You didn't dissociate. That's good.
No, because I'm already dissociated. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, but yeah, no, I know. I think my feelings are just really sad. That's so sad about what happened to Mona. Like, it's so, well, that part of me that really wants justice is so really like devastated for her.
Yeah, I like when she said she had called them, I had like a little glimmer of hope.
Yeah, I bet.
And then it was just like crushed when she was like, nope. It's
There
like,
has to be, no, there has to be someone to help her. I keep hearing like Morgan and Morgan, like the injury law firm, where they don't get paid unless they win. Like maybe she should contact them. I don't know.
I think at this point she's just like
I
so
know
done.
there's not no fight, but I mean, like it still would have been nice, at least for her family or something to, I don't know, whatever. I know it's all just material stuff, but it's just that justice of just the punch right there in the nuts. The satisfaction of like, okay, like the ending of Aaron Brockovich, where it was just like, okay, breathe, like you feel that there's, even though it's not,
They're held
it's,
responsible,
yeah,
like they
exactly. It's
some
just
kind of responsibility. There's none
yes,
for them.
that's it. It's just that, like, I know what the outcome is, but it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this is a cautionary tale, because a lot of people, even people in the spiritual community, are jumping on the bandwagon and just doing this because it's easy. And people need to be careful
1,000,000%.
what they're injecting in their bodies, especially now, because all of these injections they're not made for your highest good. Let's just put it that way. Like they're just
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And really, all of them, no matter what kind, is made to suppress consciousness. Like that's it.
That's
To
always
suppress
the
consciousness.
bottom line. Yeah. That's
Always
always part of the agenda points. That's it.
right. There's so many other ways we could take this, but I think we'll just leave it at that for now. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking about the kids and autism and all of that, but we'll leave that.
Yeah. That's another story.
Yeah, we should do a whole video about that.
Write that down because,
I mean, we did a video on autism, but there's new revelations
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and IVF.
Oh, yeah. Bro.
Well, thanks for
Hey,
coming to story time.
thank you for telling it. I think someone needs to tell Mona's story.
Yeah, at the very least, if it could be heard and known on some level and not just like buried.
Yep. Yep. Well, thank you everyone for coming today. And yeah, so much more to talk about. So whenever we show up again, we will. Until then, till the next episode.
Till the next episode.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bye. Peace.